What is going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new YouTube video. As you can see, I'm not in my usual surroundings. I'm currently on the rooftop of my auntie's house here in Bangladesh. We may as well just address the topic of the video straight away, because you will have seen that the footage from the North Coast 500 trip only covered 1 day's worth of the trip, and that is plainly and simply because I had to cut my trip short. By the way, I wrote some notes for this video on my phone, and reading them back, I wrote them when I was a bit more upset about the whole situation. It's kind of funny reading them now, but I'm a lot more calm about the situation now, thankfully. Don't get me wrong, it does suck that I had to effectively cancel what was a bucket list trip that I had planned since I want to say around March, April this year. But unfortunately, I just didn't have much choice. A family matter came up, and as much as I tried to control it from a distance, it became very clear very quickly that nothing was going to happen unless I actually came here and dealt with it in person. And we have to look at the positives here. Ultimately, my family needed me. Now things are being taken care of, and me and the North Coast 500 definitely have unfinished business, but that is fine because at some stage I will be completing that trip. Now, I knew that I wanted to film a video while I was here. I didn't expect it to be one like this. As I say, I wrote some notes on the video, and retrospectively reading them back, I do think this is a really good video to exemplify making the most of any situation, and hopefully it's going to resonate with someone out there. So it's just me and the camera on the rooftop, the metropolis of Chittagong in the background. You might also hear the prayers coming from the megaphones and the towers in the background, and me and you are just going to take this moment to have a little chat, and we'll see where this goes. So not too long ago, someone asked me a question, and I'm not even going to lie, I actually can't remember who asked it. It was in person, but to be honest, the stress of everything that's been going on recently has like fogged my brain so much that I can't even remember actually who asked the question. So if you're watching, I do apologize for that. But someone asked me, what's the end goal for this YouTube channel? And on the surface, I know that seems like such a simple question, but I really wanted to film my response to this for a video, in case someone finds the nuances and the lessons behind it to be as valuable for them as it has been for me. So YouTube first came to my attention several years ago. I mean, several years ago, even when YouTube was first becoming a thing. And in particular, there's two YouTubers that I've been watching for probably over 10 years now. They are Christian Guzman and Max Tuning. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of others that I do watch as well, but in terms of longevity, it's definitely been those two that I've been watching for the most part. Over the past decade or so, I've been so inspired watching Christian and Max's videos. I've watched them create phenomenal businesses. I've watched their lives just go from strength to strength as they just achieve their goals. I've watched them grow exponentially over the years, and although they both started off as fitness YouTubers, it's not just fitness. I've taken a lot of inspiration from those two in. It's business, life, and to be honest, everything in between as well. I've watched them build companies literally from the ground up and document the entire process as they've gone. I've watched them navigate difficult situations, and although they never show it on camera, you can tell that sometimes things have been bothering them. Yeah, of course, sometimes they will talk about those things as well. And I think the reason it's so refreshing and so inspiring for me is it's just so real and authentic. You know what it's like on social media? I think I've said this before, especially when it comes to short form content. I feel like, you know, people just show highlight reels, and I think the difference between YouTube in particular, what separates YouTube, is the fact that you genuinely get to know someone's personality. You generally get to know someone's values, and you really get to know them as a person. And that's absolutely the case when it comes to those two creators. I feel like over time I've gotten to know their personalities, I've gotten to know their mannerisms, their senses of humor, what kind of personality traits are important to them. That chicken, I swear, I'm going to strangle it. Over time, they've displayed so many attributes and values that I would love to emulate. So much so that now when I watch their videos, I actually feel like I'm watching a friend. And when it comes down to it, I think that's the feeling that I want to elicit for my own viewers. That's the same feeling that I want my viewers to feel. When you watch my content, I want you to feel like you're hanging out with one of your good friends. I feel like loads of people have got a friend who just, you know, displays good values and stands by them and is a good example of what it means to be a good human being. You know, someone who gives good advice, works hard, always striving for more and trying to achieve what they really want to get out of life. I understand that's going to take a long time to develop, but that's the kind of feeling I want you to feel when you watch my content. But just like Max and Christian, I also want to be authentic and real. I want to show you every part of the process. That means, yeah, of course, I want to share my wins with you, but I also don't want to create any illusions, because life is challenging and I want to show you that side of it too. There's no doubt that sometimes things will get tough for you, and I want to show you those sides of my life as well. So I guess in making this video, I want to show you the importance of showing up even when times are tough and your back is against the wall. Anyone can show up when things are good and convenient. It's very easy to do that. But learning to show up when things aren't necessarily going your way, and you know, you really do feel up against it, that's a whole new ball game in itself. By the way, can you see these sweat patches? It's like it's like 35 degrees here in Bangladesh at the moment, and I am feeling it. But yeah, if I'm being honest with you, I really do feel like the past 3 to 4 months of my life have been the most challenging since my dad passed away. In fact, a couple of Mondays ago when that video was filmed, the North Coast 500 video, pretty sure that was one of the worst days of my entire life. I feel like I'm starting to get a bit better now, but more recently I've been averaging, what, 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night maximum. In fact, I'm going to put some Garmin stats on the screen right there so you can see how bad it's gotten sometimes. If you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you'll know that the theme, the tone tends to be quite laid back and relaxed. It's rare that the serious side of me comes out for YouTube. I don't think it ever has really come out on YouTube, and I'm not sure if it ever will. Not fully anyways. But the message that I really want to get across in this video is something that I want you to take quite seriously. And that is that whatever it is that you're facing in life, whether it's going good or you're having a tough time, whatever it is, the only antidote, the only way through, the only solution, the only way forwards is to win. You have to find a way to overcome and to win regardless of what's in front of you. Now you might listen to that and think that seems like a bit of an oversimplification, and in many ways you'd be correct. Seems like an easy strategy. All you've got to do is win, right? But that's where a lot of people get it wrong, because although yes, it's a simplification, and just because it's simple doesn't mean in any way, shape or form that it's going to be easy. In fact, it can be incredibly difficult and nuanced in certain situations. Because think about what it takes to win, to excel, and to be seriously good at what it is that you want to do. If you really want to do great things with your life, you're probably not going to get there by doing what the average person does. This is something that I've definitely realized over time. If you want to win, it's going to take early starts, it's going to take late nights, relentless discipline, putting in more hours than the average person, pushing through tiredness, pushing through frustration, pushing through when literally everything seems like it's against you, developing both efficiency and competence in what you do. And not only that, but you've got to keep up with it for a hilariously uncommon amount of time. All of this while it feels like no one cares about what it is that you're doing. No one's cheering for you, no one's clapping for you, no one's rooting for you, no one's in your corner, no one's saying well done. In fact, it feels like a very lonely time of your life. That's tough even when things seem to be going well for you, let alone when things aren't. But if you really want to do great things with your life, this is the kind of thing that you have to get used to. And you might also be wondering, how on earth do you keep up with that? And for me, that comes down to, well, what is it that you want to get out of your life? Think specifically here. What do you actually want to get out of your life? What do you want your life to look like? Ultimately, if I want you to feel the way I want you to feel when you watch my videos, I have to create content that aligns with that. I have to be making content consistently. I have to be delivering value. I have to make my content worth watching. I have to deliver good messages. And to push it even further than that, I think a big driving force for me and what I do is wanting to provide for my future family. I think I've spoke about this in a previous video as well. It's my future family, my future wife and kids. Don't know who they are. Don't know with certainty if it's ever going to happen for me, but make sure you're watching this channel, because if I'm still single by the time I'm 40, I'm probably just going to adopt a kid and be a single dad. But that's what it does come down to for me. As far as I'm concerned, I don't get what I want. My future family get what they want. I want to be the best possible leader, protector, provider, example for my future family. I want to be a great husband, a great father, a great example of what it means to be a good man. And if it just so happens that one day they see this channel, maybe even this video, I want them to know that the leader of their family is someone who displays all those amazing values. And if that day does happen to be today, and we're all sat somewhere together watching this, I want to make a promise to you right now, is that I've got you. Everything that I do is for you. I don't get what I want, you get what you want, and that's the way it is. And that's the way it's always going to be. At least that's my vision anyways. Your vision might be drastically different to that, but it does have to be compelling enough to drag you through even the toughest moments of your life. So I'm going to leave you with this, because amongst all the amazing things I've done with my life, you know, there are certain lessons that really stick out. And I think especially when it comes to, you know, self-confidence and creating the life that you want and being true to yourself, being authentic, sticking by your values, I think it can be summed up with this. I think it's so important to be who you say you are and do what you say you'll do. It is incredibly important to do those things. And if you can do those things bit by bit, day by day, you will strengthen that relationship that you have with yourself so much more than you can imagine. And that will help you serve your vision and serve your purpose to the best of your ability. You'll develop resilience, self-awareness, physical and mental strength. Truly, it all begins with being the most honest, authentic version of yourself. So be who you say you are and do what you say you'll do. Anyways, I think that's enough serious theme for one video, but I've got to admit, I actually do feel a lot better for filming this. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up right here. I'd like to thank you so much for tuning in. I'm extremely grateful that you spent a few minutes with me when you could have been doing literally anything else. Look how sweaty I am. You can see the sweat stains on my shirt right there. As for now, I am going to go collect a suit because I'm going to a wedding later tonight. So if you want to see some more frequent updates from my trip, just make sure you follow my Instagram. It'll be in the description box below. Thanks again for watching. Have an amazing week ahead, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.